How do I begin? The version 20 release of Davinci Resolve is stunning with fantastic AI tools that are both awe-inspiring and slightly unsettling. When we tested the new Auto Mix feature in Davinci Resolve 20 beta, the results were truly remarkable. It utilizes AI to dynamically balance dialogue, music, effects in real time, a feat that would normally require the expertise of an experienced post-production mixer. This is not just a gimmick. It represents a significant shift in how we will approach mixing. What makes this even more intriguing is that the AutoMix feature seemed to generate plugins on the fly, encapsulating multiple algorithms and presenting them through a simple, minimalist interface. However, here's the catch. These plugins are not actual software components. They are virtual constructs dynamically created by the AI in response to the mix. So, buckle up and let's embark on a journey to explore some of these jaw-dropping features. Hi, I'm Anagha Mutkal and welcome back to the channel. First, let's test the AutoMix feature itself. In this Davinci Resolve project, we have 2 dialogue tracks, few drones, and a song with vocals, all on separate tracks. This setup helps the AI identify and adjust each type of audio accurately. Let me switch to Fairlight quickly to show you that no characterization or mixing has been done yet. Let's listen to this.
That's monstrous. That's beyond reason.
It is. But reason dies first in times like these. What remains is hunger, betrayal, suspicion. A man isn't himself anymore. Just a body acting on impulse, on fear, on some twisted sense of justice.
There must have been signs. Someone could have stopped him.
Signs? Perhaps. But when the world itself is bleeding, who stops to notice one more open wound?
So now let's try the AI audio assistant. And the way to access it is similar in both the edit and the Fairlight page. Go to timeline, select the AI tools, and then choose audio assistant. Pick your desired loudness level based on the platform you're targeting like YouTube or broadcast and click Auto Mix. The AI will analyze your timeline and make its calculations. Once it's done, we can listen to the mix and review the results.
That's monstrous. That's beyond reason.
It is. But reason dies first in times like these. What remains is hunger, betrayal, suspicion. A man isn't himself anymore. Just a body acting on impulse, on fear, on some twisted sense of justice.
There must have been signs. Someone could have stopped him.
Signs? Perhaps. But when the world itself is bleeding, who stops to notice one more open wound?
It has color-coded and categorized our tracks. Both of these go in dialogue, so these are in dialogue. These 3 tracks are SFX, and this is music. As you can see, it seems like AI will someday make our job obsolete. But for now, let's see what it has done. So let me play this and let's check these effects that have been applied. So we have a compressor enabled on both dialogue tracks, and we can see the amount of compression that it is applying. And then we have EQ applied on both the dialogue tracks with just the high-pass filter enabled. Let's close this. And then we have a deesser, a one-knob deesser, which is different from the actual deesser plugin that they have. And then we also have ducker applied on these 4 tracks, which is the 3 drone track and 1 song. Let me move this.
That's monstrous. That's beyond
And you can see
reason.
that they have their own set of parameters. And the source is set to George plus David, which is our dialogue tracks. And we also have track effects enabled on our dialogue tracks, which is dialogue leveler and voice isolation set at around 70. So let me shift this so that we can see dialogue leveler. And let's close it.
Who stops to notice one more open wound?
And then we have these other plugins. If we enable the multiband on the drone track, we see this maximize, which is a 2-knob plugin. And on the master bus, if I enable this multiband, we get this impact, which is a different plugin. And on the limiter, we get this limit, which has a single knob. And I can't find these 1 or 2 knob plugins anywhere in the effects section. This is their limiter, this is their actual limiter, and they're not even there in the effects library either. It's pretty interesting. And then there is automation applied on the music and the effects track, and you can see these green knobs on the fader, which indicate that there is an automation that has been applied. So let me just select these tracks and expand them, and let's choose to see the fader automation. And let me play this.
Who stops to notice one more open wound?
And it's amazing. There are these very unique things that they have done in Davinci Resolve 20. It seems to generate plugins on the fly, encapsulating multiple algorithms and presenting them through a plain, minimalist interface. But here's the kicker. These plugins don't actually exist. They're virtual constructs built dynamically by the AI in response to the mix. And if we're not satisfied, we can fine-tune the mix or undo the adjustments. So it's pretty amazing, the AI audio assistant. Davinci Resolve 20 has also introduced an AI-driven voice convert tool that allows us to swap one speaking voice for another. And this tool can replace your own voiceover with one that has more depth, or even switch genders or replace an actor's voice with another, while maintaining pitch, inflections, and emotion. We can also train custom voice models through the voice training feature by uploading a clean recordings of the desired voice. And once it's generated, the new voice model can be used in the voice convert dialog to drive voice changes effectively. So let's take a look. Here in Davinci, we have this clip that we've used previously in one of our episodes on native restoration tools. Let me first play this.
और एक पुरुष के पास में जब एक स्त्री आती है तो बहुत अनोखी और अजीब सी मतलब जो है एक अनुभव की स्थिति बनती है.
And you can hear that there is a lot of background noise which is overpowering the speech and rendering it inaudible. So we recorded in ADR, but with a twist. So the first thing to do is to train our voice and make sure you have the consent to do this. Here we've taken a 10 minutes long clip which is bereft of any background noise. So to train the model, first select your clip in the media pool, right click, go to AI tools and select Davinci Voice Training, which is going to pop out this window. After hitting accept, we can now proceed further. Enter our voice name. We can set the training accuracy to either better or faster and click start, which is first going to prepare this clip for voice training model and then proceed to generate a custom model. And you can check the status from right here. Now creating a voice model requires a lot of computing power and can take hours depending on the quality of the analysis. So now, let's first listen to the ADR record track.
और एक पुरुष के पास में जब एक स्त्री आती है तो बहुत अनोखी और अजीब सी मतलब जो है एक अनुभव की स्थिति बनती है.
And we have on purpose used a feminine voice to check the capability of the AI voice convert. So simply select the clip you want to convert, right click and choose voice convert. And we can choose if we wish to render in place, the naming convention. You can choose from a range of voice models. By default, type matching to source is enabled, which means it's going to match the AI model voice as closely to the source If you uncheck this, you can change pitch variance, and we can also make a pitch change. And I'm going to move this to -2, which will pitch it slightly towards the bass. And I'm going to raise the gain just slightly. And let's first listen to this.
और एक पुरुष है, पास में एक जब एक स्त्री आती है तो बहुत अनोखी और अजीब सी मतलब जो है एक अनुभव की स्थिति बनती है.
And we can slightly make our own adjustments. So I'm going to shift down a semitone and also make custom changes to the clip EQ, which in Davinci Resolve 20 now supports 6 bands. So let's play.
और एक पुरुष है, पास में एक जब एक स्त्री आती है तो बहुत अनोखी और अजीब सी मतलब जो है एक अनुभव की स्थिति बनती है.
And it's done a pretty okay job for a beta version, and given the fact that this was a female voice. Now let's add the car and the ambience back into the scene, and let's listen to this.
और एक पुरुष है, पास में एक जब एक स्त्री आती है तो बहुत अनोखी और अजीब सी मतलब जो है एक अनुभव की स्थिति बनती है.
Next, let's talk about another new AI feature, the AI-powered music editor. Now this tool helps us adjust the length of our music track to fit our video project. Though it's ideal for music that has a clear beat like pop or dance music, we can shorten or lengthen a music clip without changing its pitch or distorting the sound. So let's adjust the length of this music piece to edit. Simply select your music clip on the timeline. In the audio inspector, you can either enter the new duration for your clip and click adjust, or use the live trim feature to resize the clip directly on the timeline. We get this icon. Let's resize this. And once we've set this, the AI does its analysis and adjusts the music clip. Let's listen to this. And the transition is absolutely seamless and perfect. Let's stretch this clip to around 3 minutes. Perfect. Now, the AI also automatically offers 4 different versions of edit. Additionally, we can decompose the clip if you want to manually adjust it. This tool analyzes the music, identifies logical places to cut or repeat sections, and ensures a smoother transition, whether you're shortening or lengthening the track. And it automates the tedious process of cutting and rejoining music, adjusting its duration to match your video's length without awkward cuts or stretched audio, saving us editing time. Davinci Resolve 20 now includes an automatic beat detector which can detect beats in a music clip. It identifies the beats in a track and then allows you to snap other elements to these beat markers. And this feature is especially useful in making edits in sync with the rhythm of the music. To use it, right-click on the audio clip, select Show Music Beats, and the software will analyze the clip, displaying beat indicator overlays that you can align with other clips or elements. The beat detector works best for beat-driven music and is optimized for 4x4 or 3x4 time signatures. And this tool is valuable for anyone editing music videos, montages, or projects where timing with the music is crucial. So now, let's come to another AI feature, the AI Dialogue Matcher. Now, this automatically matches the tone, level, and the room acoustics between clips. And you'll find it in DAWs like Nuendo, and one could also use Isotope RX Dialogue Match, but the problem with that was that it only functioned in Pro Tools. And now, Davinci Resolve has introduced its own AI-powered dialogue matcher. It's a powerful tool for improving the consistency of dialogue recordings. And it helps us ensure that different audio clips, whether recorded in the same or different environments, sound like they belong together by matching the acoustics and tone. It captures a tone profile from the reference clip, which can then be applied to a different clip. So, let me play this for you.
शिक्षकों ने अपनी शिक्षक ही छोड़ दी, डॉक्टरों ने डॉक्टरी छोड़ दी, तथा रचनाकार जो थे, साहित्यकार जो थे, उनका ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा प्रभाव था.
And we can hear that one clip has a room tone and the other sounds dry. So let's capture this room tone. If you're on edit page, you can find this under clip menu, AI tools, dialogue matcher, and select capture dialogue profile. Next, right-click on the target clip, go to AI Tools, Dialogue Matcher and apply Dialogue Profile to match the tone. You'll see the effects indicator on the clip and you can enable or disable it to activate or deactivate the effect. You can also remove the applied profile.
तथा रचनाकार जो थे, साहित्यकार जो थे, उनका ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा प्रभाव था. शिक्षकों ने अपनी शिक्षक ही छोड़ दी, डॉक्टरों ने डॉक्टरी छोड़ दी.
Now this is a beta version and I have to say it does a good enough job. One potential improvement or a good addition would be the ability to mix or tweak the effect a little. But since this is the beta version, hopefully it will only get better. For anyone who's ever worked in audio production, they know how crucial it is to maintain consistent and balanced audio levels, along with proper gain staging. And this is important for later when we apply other dynamic adjustments and processing. And Davinci Resolve has made it easier than ever to maintain consistent and balanced levels with the AI-powered level matcher. It saves our time by reducing the need to do manual adjustments to each and every clip. So, let's check it out. We have on this timeline 2 interview tracks and a voiceover. And we can easily tell by the waveform that there's a lot of inconsistency in the levels. Let me just play a few parts.
राष्ट्रभाषा प्रचार समिति की स्थापना राष्ट्र को एकजुट करने का एक अभूतपूर्व प्रयास.
बैठक में राजेंद्र प्रसाद थे, सुभाष चंद्र बोस जी थे.
और उसके अनुसार फिर वो यहाँ पे विद्यार्थी अपना 10 महीने का.
So now we're going to take this clip as a reference clip. And all we have to do is right-click on this clip. Go to Clip Operations, Level Matcher and select Capture Level Profile. And then I'm going to select all the other clips, right-click, Clip Operations, Level Matcher and apply this level profile. And we can see in an instant that it has applied this level profile on the clips based on their individual levels.
जैसे विशाल राष्ट्र में विभिन्न भाषाओं का होना स्वाभाविक है.
वियोगी हरि जी थे और अनेक देश के नेतागण वहाँ थे.
Now level match simply adjusts the level or the gain for that particular clip. It does not tackle the inconsistencies in the clip itself. So to tackle them, you can either break the clip down into shorter sections or handle the peaks by manually tweaking them. Or if you're dealing with a lot of clips, you can use the AI-powered dialogue leveler. So let's just quickly check it out. I'll select this clip, go to Inspector, and here we have the clip effects. I'll enable AI dialogue leveler, switch the mode to optimize modulate levels, and let's remove the lift soft dialogue. Click on this and just bounce this effect. And here we can see we've quickly achieved all the more consistent and balanced levels. Another method is to use dynamics, compression, to control your peaks. This I have covered in greater details in our previous episode, the link to which will be available in the description box below. Now, let's take a look at another super amazing AI-powered feature, Remove Silence. So whether you're working on a documentary, film, podcast, music, in fact any audio material that has a dialogue or vocals, this tool will come in very handy, as it helps with the otherwise tedious task of manually removing the silent sections from between two dialogues. And there are similar features available in other DAWs, and now Davinci has it too. Make sure to make a range selection of that clip or a collection of clips, and I'm going to select both the tracks. Now simply right click and choose Remove Silence, and here it pops out this window. Threshold determines what counts as silence. It is measured in dB, and it's like a line that helps Davinci figure out what's considered silence in the audio. So any part of the audio that falls below the set threshold will be treated as silence and will be removed. Prehead adds silence before a sound starts. It's measured in milliseconds and it's like a pre-roll, giving some breathing room before an audio segment. Post-tail adds breathing room after a sound ends. And these help ensure that no audio is removed accidentally. Minimum to strip sets the minimum amount of silence that will be removed from your clips. If there's a silent gap that's shorter than the value you've set, it will not be removed. Enabling fade head and tail smoothens the audio transition by applying fades to the start and the end. So let's hit Remove Silence. And let's play this.
Why would he do that?
George, dark times. You lose yourself in the moment. Moods are little understood. They don't just affect a person, they infect whole communities. Fear, hatred, madness, they spread like a plague.
And this is a breath sound. And it's pretty accurate. Now let's check out AI Checkerboard to new tracks. This feature helps you separate multiple voices in an audio clip into their own individual tracks, making it easier to mix the audio. It utilizes transcription technology in Davinci Resolve to analyze and create a transcription and distinguish multiple speakers. It's especially handy in cases where you have a boom mic recording that has captured multiple voices on a track, or a dialogue stem that requires further individual processing. In this project, I have an audio clip with different interviewers, and we'll use the Checkerboard tool to assign them to their own tracks. This is applied on per clip basis. So simply right click on the clip and choose AI Tools, Checkerboard to new tracks. The transcribing audio dialogue will appear, and the Fairlight will analyze the audio to identify each voice. Since this clip is in Hindi, I've downloaded the extended AI transcription support language package from Davinci Resolve's Extra Download Manager and enabled it in the project settings under subtitles and transcription. From there, I selected Hindi as the language. And we're done. The original track is muted, and Fairlight has perfectly identified multiple speakers and placed them on their respective tracks. And we can rename them according to the interviewers or the actors. Another enhancement owing to their massive transcription and AI analyzing capabilities is in their ADR workflow on the Fairlight page. We can now generate individual ADR cues with the help of AI, saving us a lot of time. Now in Davinci, I have my previous project loaded from when I worked on the episode for ADR. The link to that episode will also be available in the description box below. Now we usually have to manually create markers, add cues, and type in the text. But let's check out the AI-based way of creating them. So let's select our clip, simply right-click, and under AI Tools, select Create ADR Cues. You can select ADR cues with speakers if you have multiple actors. It will transcribe and analyze If you're using other language, make sure to enable extended AI transcription support language and choose your language from a list of supported languages. And here we have it. Now, while it's pretty accurate in transcribing what is being said, it hasn't been able to break down these into shorter sections. I don't know if this is because it's in Hindi or because it's a beta version, but hopefully it will only get better. Another new feature of AI is the ability to match EQ, which can be useful in scenarios where we need to match the tone of a recording made with multiple microphones. For example, when recording an audiobook or a dialogue over a few days, the conditions might not always be ideal, leading to differences in the tone of the audio. So, here on the timeline, we have these two clips recorded at the same time with two different microphones. Let me play them.
अर्धनारीश्वर का मतलब है कि ये जो आप हो, इस आप का आधा हिस्सा आत्मा शरीर के रूप में है और आधा हिस्सा प्रकृति और वातावरण के रूप में है। अर्धनारीश्वर का मतलब है कि ये जो आप हो, इस आप का आधा हिस्सा आत्मा शरीर के रूप में है और आधा हिस्सा प्रकृति और वातावरण के रूप में है।
And we can hear a significant difference in their tonal qualities. One has more presence while the other sounds muffled. So while it's impossible to perfectly match them, we can attempt to closely match their tonal qualities in cases where it's required. We'll take audio 2 as the reference and audio 1 as the target. Let's right-click on the clip, choose Clip Operations, EQ Matcher, Capture EQ Profile. Now let's apply this profile to the audio clip 1. Clip Operations, EQ Matcher. You can choose to apply it directly to the clip or the track or an automated track EQ. We'll go over that in a bit. Let's first apply it to the clip. The clip EQ now supports 6 bands, making it more efficient to make finer adjustments. So let's listen to this.
अर्धनारीश्वर का मतलब है कि ये जो आप हो, इस आप का आधा हिस्सा। अर्धनारीश्वर का मतलब है कि ये जो आप हो, इस आप का आधा हिस्सा।
And we can also tweak these parameters.
अर्धनारीश्वर का मतलब है कि ये जो आप हो, इस आप का।
Now, as I had mentioned, it won't be a perfect match, but it can be a close enough match. So let's reset this and apply the profile to the track. We get a similar EQ curve, and the equalizer is set to Earth, which is the Fairlight's native response curve. So let's reset this again. And now let's check out applying it to the automated track EQ. This option will automate and adjust EQ settings for each clip on a track, ensuring a consistent tonal balance during playback. So let me add some cuts to this clip so that we can see it in action. Now let's set up automation, select EQ. I'll also open the built-in EQ and enable automation in the mixer. You'll see that it's turned red. Let's choose to view band 1's automation. Now what we're going to do is right-click and enable the automated track clip on each individual clip. Let's hit play.
अर्धनारीश्वर। प्रिय, अर्धनारीश्वर का मतलब है कि ये जो आप हो, इस आप का आधा हिस्सा आत्मा शरीर के रूप में है और आधा हिस्सा प्रकृति और वातावरण के रूप में है।
And we can see it automating in response to each clip. We could have broken this down into shorter audio segments for greater precision, but that's how it's done. Now let's go over some of the new additions to the FX library in the Fairlight page. There is now a dedicated EQ effect. It's a 6-band parametric EQ, similar to what we find in the clip EQ. Now you can insert the Fairlight EQ directly to the insert, which can be useful in managing the signal processing chain. You can place the EQ after or before a particular effect, instead of just being limited to accessing a fixed order. And if we click on these 3 dots, we can also add this to the plugin chain, which is another new feature on the Fairlight page. And we can see in this effect section that it has changed from Fairlight EQ to chain effects. And in the chain effects, we have the Fairlight EQ on the top of the chain. You can add up to 6 effects and create your own order of multiple effects and save it as a preset for quick access. Additionally, we can adjust the level and enable sidechain. There's also a new gain effect. It allows you to raise the gain up to 48 dB, which provides an extra volume boost, adding a lot of flexibility. So we have covered some of the major highlights of Davinci Resolve 20 beta, but there's much more that has been left off, and we will cover those in the following episodes. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, and please do leave a comment. So that's all for this episode. For now, bye, take care, and see you next time.